Landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And in a nutshell, Dragon Ball Z's character development is Goku, did you get dumber? Yeah, but I can fight God now. If you know, you know. But do me a favor and hit that like button or find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. And we just spent some quality time with the Wuben G5. So this is one that these guys reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check it out. And of course, I haven't been a flashlight guy until recently, but they said, hey, you want to look at a new gadget? And I said, yes, I do. So that does not mean we are beholden to them for a particularly good review, but do with the information what you will. It was sent to me for review. And if you've seen some of my past videos, that doesn't guarantee they're going to get a good review. But this thing is fantastic for what it is. This is a cool little guy. So let's go over the functions on this, and then we'll kind of get into my experience carrying it. And of course, you've got your lock right here. You know, you're locked up, you're on, and then you can USB-C charge. We have got your flashlight right here on the lowest setting, and there will be flashing lights, so be warned. But you got a slider wheel that lets you turn this thing up as you need to. There we are. It's on the brightest setting, and then it blinks to let you know it is at the brightest setting possible. Like, this thing is bright. I've just blown my eyeballs out looking at it. And you got RGB mode that you can scroll through with the little scroll wheel here too, which is also just a cool treat to have. I love stuff like this. It's a neat little toy. It doesn't really accomplish a whole lot unless you're trying to avoid finding veins with a blue light. That was dark. If you know, you know. Hold the button again. And of course, we have got police mode. So, this is something that, one of the first things that I used it for. And also your pocket clip. You can pull it out, you pull it forward, and it rotates around so that you can clip it kind of however you want. But when I first started carrying this, I put it on my belt. Now, if you have a belt that's thin enough material that you can get away with using this pocket clip, it is a great place to carry it because it's about the size of a Zippo lighter. This thing is really small. And and again, when they sent me pictures of it and they sent me the product description, I really expected it to be a good bit bigger than it is. But with it being this small and compact, that wound up making it easier to carry than it would have been otherwise. Of course, we've had other flashlights that were bulkier. They put out a ton more lumens, but they were bulkier and harder to carry. This is kind of straddling that line between ease of carry and putting out plenty of lumens, but of course in the back of your mind, you know, I could have something that would throw 12,000 lumens, but, you know, this definitely does the job quite nicely. And while I had it on my belt, I was like, you know, it's on my belt, it's facing forwards, I hit the button, and then I've got my path illuminated hands-free while I'm carrying this thing, which was actually really useful. You know, trying to get out to my driveway, especially with my outdoor plants not well maintained, the path can get really dark going down a flight of stairs. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it out. Forward facing on the belt, I hit the button and my path was illuminated hands-free, and it wound up being really, really nice to have. Like, it was like, that was a great use case. And, you know, I got to play with it at work, and there were a couple times where I actually needed this, and being able to aim this thing and being able to get this into small spaces, it actually let me fix a couple of problems at work that otherwise were going to be very, very difficult to fix without some light. So it worked really well for that. Now, I will say one thing that I did notice is the paint on this is not the most durable. You can see right here and kind of along all the corners, a little bit over here. I had it in my pocket loose to try to see how that was carrying, and it was great having it loose in the pocket because it took up no space whatsoever. However, it deposited a ton of paint on the surface of this. It cleaned off with some acetone, but that's something to bear in mind, like your paint will get worn out pretty quickly. Now, the head rotating, the 180 degrees, that also wound up being pretty useful. You know, I was able to fire it up and carry it flat like this and walk around with it with no major issues. It was just nice to have. And of course, having it like this, you know, it's not a huge difference, but when you have to magnetically clip this somewhere, and you have to aim this light, you can actually aim it where you want it, which is, it's a nice feature to have, and it's very, very useful. You know, I enjoyed carrying this thing quite a bit. This is a cool little piece, and the best part is, I think right now, on their website, there's a code you can use to get it for 20 bucks. I believe they're on sale right now on Amazon for 20 bucks. If they're not on sale, they're 25 bucks. So a 20 to $25 pickup for this is fantastic. Like, this is definitely going in a glove box or something like that so that I can have it when I need it. This is definitely going to become something that is part of my carry kit, because like in my car I like to keep a spare knife, I keep a spare light, and some spare stuff that I'm not going to have on me at all times, so that if I break down or I need to grab something real quick, I've got it within reach. And this is definitely going to be one of those that stays within reach somewhere on my person or in my house. I'm not sure exactly where yet. I haven't decided. I know I got the Husky flashlight in the wife's car, and I've got a headband light in my truck, but this is also quite convenient for smaller stuff. So overall, I am thoroughly impressed with how this thing works. I'm thoroughly impressed with how well it took care of me whenever I was carrying it. I am thoroughly impressed with how easily it carries because of its small profile. I'm happy with the USB-C charging instead of some weird proprietary mess that a lot of flashlights have, like you can only use this charger with it. No, just give me USB-C. It works. I have a million USB-C chargers in the house. Like, just give me that. But yeah, outside of all that, I'm thoroughly impressed. I really enjoyed carrying this thing, and I really enjoy having this. And they also have a white one with a 9 on it, an anniversary edition, which looks really cool, but they sent me this one, and I'm real happy to have it. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, do with the information what you will. They sent it to me, but there have been companies that sent me stuff in the past, and I'm not beholden to them for a good review in particular, but they got absolutely decimated because what they sent was awful. So, like, just do with the information what you will. I'm not necessarily shilling for it, but I thoroughly enjoyed carrying it. This is a very cool little gadget. And of course, this is also one where if you're wearing a shirt with a pocket and you need hands-free light, you can clip it into the pocket of your shirt, and then you got hands-free light facing forward, which was also quite handy to have a couple of times. I also use my Olight O-Pen Pro for the same job. But yeah. That's really everything I can think of to cover with this thing. Like I said, I'm thoroughly impressed with it. I really like this. This is a very cool little gadget, and it's a cheap pickup. It is a cheap pickup, and like I would have thought something like this would be more expensive, but they have got that pricing absolutely right on it. So that is all I can think of to cover on this thing and share with you guys about it. So all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got our live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing. Let me know if you're planning on picking one up. Like I said, very cool little pickup, and it's dirt cheap, especially for what it is. And yeah. Y'all, that being said, y'all have a nice day.